The night Lagos lost its stars, Zara lost her will to live. She stood by the edge of the third mainland bridge, her tattered sneakers wet from the drizzle. Her reflection rippled in the dark water below, the same water she planned to vanish into. 3 months ago, she had dreams. She was supposed to start a marketing job in Lekki. Then Chuka, the man she trusted, disappeared with all her savings, claiming it was for their future. Now, her mother lay sick in a clinic that threatened to discharge her if bills weren't paid. Zara had begged, starved, prayed. Nothing changed. She whispered through her tears, "Maybe if I disappear, the world will finally breathe easier." Behind her, an old fruit seller, Mrs. Amina, packed her goods and called out softly, "My daughter, bridges are not for goodbyes, they are for crossings." But Zara smiled weakly, thanked her, and turned back toward the water. Then, a car stopped. A sleek black SUV. Its headlights cut through the fog. A man's voice, calm yet commanding, spoke. "If you jump, who'll tell your story?" Zara froze. Slowly, she turned. A tall man in a dark suit stepped out, holding an umbrella. He didn't look like the kind who'd stop for a stranger, but his eyes, tired and kind, held something familiar, pain. "You don't know me," Zara whispered. "I don't need to," he said. "But I know that pain doesn't end when you fall. It only passes to the people who love you." Zara shook her head. "No one loves me anymore." The man stepped closer, his voice trembling slightly. "Then start by loving yourself. That's how I started again." She frowned. "You talk like you've been here before." He looked out at the water. "I have." And in that rain-soaked silence, Zara lowered her legs from the railing. The man offered his coat, guiding her gently to the side of the bridge. "I'm Ethan," he said quietly. "And you still matter." The words hit her like a warm light in the cold. "You still matter." Before she could speak again, Ethan placed a card in her hand and left. When she looked down, it read, "Ethan Cole Foundation for Mental Health and Hope." Days turned into weeks. Zara was alive, but survival was still cruel. She slept in a church compound, sold sachet water by day, and visited her mother at the clinic at night. One afternoon, while cleaning a gutter near the market, she saw a TV broadcast showing Ethan Cole, the billionaire founder of one of Africa's biggest tech companies. Her heart stopped. The same man who stopped her from dying was one of the richest men in the country. But what caught her attention wasn't his wealth, it was his eyes on the screen. They looked hollow, like someone carrying ghosts. She took the address from the card and decided to go, just to thank him. At the foundation's glass doors, security nearly turned her away until Ethan walked by and recognized her instantly. "Zara," he said, shocked. "You came." She smiled faintly. "I just wanted to say, thank you. You saved my life." Ethan stared at her for a long moment. Then softly he said, "You saved mine too." He offered her a small job at the foundation, filing letters, helping with community outreach. Zara hesitated but accepted. Weeks passed, and something beautiful happened. She began to heal. Zara connected with patients battling depression, wrote notes of hope, and smiled again. Ethan watched her transformation quietly, as if seeing his lost wife in her courage. But when a photo of them leaked online, showing Zara laughing beside him, gossip blogs exploded. Billionaire's new girl from the streets. Is Ethan Cole's foundation a cover for romance? The backlash was brutal. People mocked Zara's past. Ashamed, she quit the job and disappeared. For days, Ethan searched Lagos. When he finally found her sleeping near a bus park, he sat beside her. "Why did you run?" he asked softly. "Because I'm not like you. I'm nobody." "No," he said, shaking his head. "You're the reason this foundation exists. I started it for people like you and me." Zara blinked. "Like you?" Ethan took a deep breath. "The night I lost my wife in a car crash, I stood on that same bridge. I almost jumped too, but a stranger told me 3 words that saved my life." Zara's voice trembled. 3 words. He looked her in the eye. "You still matter." Her tears flowed silently. The same words that saved her were once the words that saved him. Months later, the Ethan Cole Foundation launched its biggest event, the Hope Project. Hundreds gathered, journalists, survivors, celebrities. Ethan stepped on stage and said, "Tonight, I introduce someone who turned her pain into purpose. The woman who reminded me what hope feels like, Miss Zara Okafor." The audience applauded as Zara, in a simple white gown, walked up trembling. Her voice cracked as she spoke. "I once stood on a bridge, thinking the world didn't need me. But one stranger, one voice, proved me wrong. And now, if you're watching this and feel invisible, I want you to know you still matter." The hall went silent, many crying. Ethan smiled, proud. Later on the rooftop, Zara thanked him again. "If you hadn't stopped that night, I would have lost my reason to live," he interrupted. "Saving you reminded me why I was saved." He handed her a folder. Inside was an appointment letter, naming her as the Director of Public Relations for the Foundation. Zara burst into tears. He smiled and said, "You saved me that night too, Zara. You just didn't know." Zara stood again at the bridge, but this time, not to jump. She threw white flowers into the water and whispered, "For everyone who thought it was too late, you still matter." The wind carried her words across the river as the sun rose behind her, symbolizing new beginnings from broken nights.